And speaking of YouTube, when it comes to the money side of things, biggest YouTube check you've received so far?
Yeah, I think my biggest YouTube check was around. Well, see, it's weird too because I get paid from YouTube, but I also do a lot of sponsored deals, like sponsorships and stuff. And the sponsored deals pay pretty good, like, and I can do as many as I want or as little as I want. But I think my peak check was probably during COVID time, just because everybody was online. They had nothing else to do, everything was locked down. So I think my biggest check was around $30,000. And yeah, I was like, I don't even know what to do with this money at this point. But yeah, and that's sponsorships and stuff included in there. But yeah, it was a lot of work, and I did a lot of work that at that point too. It's probably the hardest I'd ever worked as well. So.
$30,000 in 1 month's time?
Oh yeah, it was sponsorship deals, not just YouTube ad revenue. I would have to look at it on my app.
But that was a $30,000 check in like a 30-day period?
Yeah, total with ad or not just ad revenue with sponsorship deals and stuff.
But still, even $30,000 in 1 month's time. In the United States, there's some people that work a whole year
Yeah.
for $30,000.
Mm-hmm.
What did that feel like, getting a check cut for $30,000?
Man, because I had one job before I started doing YouTube, and I worked at a gym. I worked at Gold's Gym, and it was terrible. Like I hated my job so much. I was getting paid, minimum wage and working really hard, like for another company that wasn't even my money. And when I started making YouTube videos and stuff, like I don't know, like I just started making more money, but I wasn't working as hard. So I was like, I'm gonna work as hard as I did for a normal job on my YouTube channel, but harder. And I started getting a lot of brand deals and working with like big brands and stuff. I think I started working with Fashion Nova around that time as well. And like I didn't even know what to do with that money at that point, but just put it in the savings. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was a shock for sure at that point in time.
Sometimes YouTubers will take that money that they've earned and reinvest it in themselves,
Yeah,
maybe
for sure.
upgrade the equipment or the software they use or things of that
Yeah.
nature.
No, I was definitely upgraded everything. I paid off my car. I moved out of my parents' house and stuff. So it was a lot changed during those times. I think I've really grew up in that point. It helped me grow up a lot.
What did your parents think when they found out you had a $30,000 check off of YouTube?
They were shocked because at first it's funny because my parents actually, when I was working at that gym, I was like, I'm about to quit my job. And it was when I first got monetized on YouTube, and they were like, you're crazy. Like, don't quit your job. Don't quit your job. And I was like, I have to quit my job. I think I was making like, I had just gotten paid like for on YouTube the first time, and it was such a small amount. Like, and they were like, don't quit your job. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, what's even a YouTuber type thing? And I was like, I'm just gonna quit. So I didn't even tell them. I just quit my job. And that too really made me grind because I was like, I have nothing else to make money, so it's like I have to do this. And so then I showed them, like you can actually make money on YouTube, like you really can, like, um, especially when you're getting brand deals, especially as a beauty influencer or a hair influencer. I get a lot of deals with like a lot of wig companies, hair companies. Like I said, I did Fashion Nova for a while, so yeah, I think I made them proud. I think I don't want to say I proved them wrong, but they were kind of like, don't quit your job, don't do YouTube type thing.
You mentioned your boyfriend, who again is off the camera to the side of you. What did he think when he saw you had a $30,000 check off of YouTube?
I think he was surprised as well. Like, we were like, what are we going to do with this? But, I mean, um, it was something that we both worked hard for, too, because, like, he got me my first camera. He helped me film all these videos. He helped me take pictures in all of the clothes and do everything like that. So he was really hands-on with it. Actually, he knew everything that was happening as well. But we were really surprised when, I started making real money off of doing something that's fun.
30,000 was the peak. Was that a number you just saw one time, or you've seen that 30,000 number a couple times?
It was like prime COVID time, like probably the worst COVID was back 2020, like early 2020, I think. I haven't seen it again, but it's just one of those things. YouTube has its ups and downs, but it's okay. Like, we're still making good money in YouTube. So yeah, I think TikTok is also a really big thing too now. I think a lot of people watching more TikTok than YouTube videos, so that's definitely something I want to start getting into. It's more TikTok stuff.
And do you want to put a figure on it when you say you're still making good money off of YouTube, even though it's not the $30,000 number a month?
Yeah. I mean, it really fluctuates. Like, if you're going to be a YouTuber, you're going to have amazing months. And then you're also going to have terrible months. So it's really important that you save and, like, really are good at money management, because you're going to have some months where it's like, this is awful. But then you're going to have some months where it's, like, crazy money. YouTube definitely fluctuates a lot, especially brand deals fluctuate a lot, because, you'll have a deal for a certain amount of time and then that deal will end eventually. So, yeah, definitely manage your money well, but it fluctuates so much. Like, if you do YouTube, you definitely know, like, it's not always the same.
Are you full-time with YouTube at this point?
Yes, I'm a full-time YouTuber.
And prior to YouTube, you mentioned you did have a job. And you actually mentioned the name of the job. What was your position at the job, though? At Gold's Gym.
Yeah, I worked at Gold's Gym, and it was awful. I worked front desk for a while. I would have to sell people gym memberships, and you had to really push people. And I'm not the best at talking to people or talking people into things. Like, I'm really laid back, so it's like I wouldn't be like, buy this gym membership, I'd be too laid back for that environment. And I also used to work with their kids, they called it Kids Club, where you watch people's kids while they worked out. And I'm terrible with kids, so that was not fun at all. But yeah, that's what I did.
Was that commission-based at all?
Yes, it was. So I think if you sold a gym membership, the highest gym membership, you would get $20 extra added onto your paycheck. But it was really shiesty in there, because there would be people, older people that I worked with, because I was 17, 16 in there, and there'd be grown men in there taking my sales from me. So it was a mess. Yeah, I didn't like it.
What's an example of that when you say taking your sale from you?
Yeah, so you would usually write down I sold this gym membership, I sold that gym membership, and people would go in with whiteout and literally steal your sale and put their name down or something, some crazy stuff. Especially me being a little kid, especially as a girl too, they would just take advantage of it and take my sales from me.
Would you confront the people that were doing the whiteout? Would you let the boss know what was going on?
Yeah, for sure. I would let him know. Yeah. And, but I didn't like my boss either. My boss wasn't the nicest person in the world either. So, I don't know. It was just all around, not a good environment for people who are like me and not confrontational and don't work out at all. And, yeah.
Did the boss have your back at all? Did he respect the original sales, or?
Sometimes, it was weird because, he would be like, do you have proof that this was your sale? And it's do they have proof that it's their sale? I don't know. But, yeah, sometimes it would work out and he'd give it back to me. But there was some times where he was I don't know, just didn't care or something.
But you never confronted another coworker that was actually attempting to steal?
I feel I'm sure I did, but I'm sure I wasn't as firm as I needed to be and be give me my sale back. But I'm sure I just you can keep it.
So how much time did you have that job for? Rough estimate.
Man, that was my first job. I started when I was 16, and I worked there. I think I may have started when I was 15. I don't know, but I worked there for like it was almost gonna be 4 years. And as soon as I started doing YouTube and it was like actually paying me was when I quit.
And you mentioned you quit. Did you quit gracefully or disrespectfully?
Gracefully. I gave them the 2-week notice, I was nice to them or whatever, but it's funny because I was literally doing so much for them that behind the scenes and stuff working there that they didn't even notice how much I was doing. And so when I quit, the place literally was like falling apart. Like my manager texted me, was like, "When are you ready to come back?" And I'm like, "Never. Like I'm never coming back to this place." So, yeah.
Do you have anything you would say to somebody watching this that is having the same position you held at one point at a Gold's Gym, or maybe they're at a gym, maybe it's not Gold's Gym, but it's the same position, right? Selling and then working the kids' corner. Is there any tips, tricks, or advice for that position you want to share? Generally speaking here, because everybody's different and everybody's circumstances and roles may be different, but...
If you like it, stay there, but it just truly was not for me. I hated it. But it just didn't fit my personality. But if you don't like it and you're like me and you don't like it, I feel like you should quit and do something you truly love. Like build yourself up. Like I never wanted to be the type of person that worked for somebody else and built up somebody else's brand. Like even if I don't do YouTube forever, like I still want to own my own business or do something where I'm working hours and hours and hours to build me up and not like another person who could fire you and you have nothing to show for it. So I feel like if you don't like it, it's not for you. You should definitely try to do something like that yourself.
Now, there may be some viewers watching this that are saying, out of all the jobs you could have applied for or worked company-wise for, why even this position or this establishment, considering you don't go to the gym, you're not a salesperson, you're a shy person by nature, you're not an outgoing person, I should say. I mean, it just seems like the opposite of who you are was what this job entailed from you.
Yeah. I would say did it because my dad is like, he works out a lot. He's like a bodybuilder. And so he was like, you should work at the gym, your first job. Like, I'm cool with all the people who work up there. And I was like, this would be an easy first job. Like, my dad's going to be in here. My friends used to work out there. And I used to work out because I used to do cheerleading. But I stopped cheering. And so I thought it was going to be fun, but it turned out to be more than just checking people in at the gym. It was like a lot of sales and stuff like that. So I think that's why I didn't like it a lot.
What did your father think about the sales stealing?
He didn't like it because the dude that kept stealing my sales, like my dad knew who he was. And so like the dude who would steal my sales was like 20, 30 years older than me. So he's like taking sales from a little kid. I guess he thought I didn't need the money or something, but yeah, it's crazy.
Did your father check this person or confront this person at all about it, or?
I don't know if he did or not. I really don't. I told him about it, and he knew what I was talking about, but I think it was just one of those things like you got to grow up and take care of yourself type of thing.
Is he a professional bodybuilder?
No. He used to play football in college. Like, he's just always been really active and stuff, but yeah, he works out a lot.
Anything else in reference to the job you had or the gym or anything else on that topic or question you weren't asked? People want to know about it.
I would say don't work at a gym. You see a lot of crazy stuff, and it's not fun.
What's the craziest thing you've seen?
Man, like, okay, so I think we used to have to go and, like, clean the bathrooms, like, and every single time we would go in there, there would be, like, needles, like, steroid needles, people injecting themselves with steroids and, like, going and working out. So we'd find a lot of needles at the gym. It's kind of crazy.
Anything else?
No, not that I can think of.